This segment of CoastLife is sponsored by the Parker Group.
It is one of the biggest decisions you will ever make in your life. It's buying a home, maybe selling a home, both a big deal, both really can be stressful, but not when you're dealing with people over at the Parker Group. They make things much, much easier. We have Jamie Perez and Julie Ward joining us on the couch today. Guys, first of all, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And I wanted to start out with the time of year. You know, we are sort of coming out of summer into fall. Does that at all change the buying season in any way?
It changes the season for everybody, buyers and sellers, and there's certain things that you have to contend with, starting off with events and holidays taking up a lot of your time. And so we find that buyers need to really commit and set some time aside if they're committed to purchasing a home to make sure that they can go out there and see what opportunities are out there.
Is there anything that a prospective seller can be doing right now at a time when things are changing a little bit to make their property stand out? Is there anything that they should be doing to try to really entice people?
Well, I think right now is a good time if you are considering selling, starting with the agent and getting the pictures taken now versus after you put all your Halloween decorations up and all the Thanksgiving decorations, and then you have the Christmas decorations. And then also right now is a good time to start prepping your house to sell and getting it ready for the fall, cleaning up the leaves, cleaning out the gutters.
You know, when you guys are dealing with both sides of this, you mentioned all the holidays coming up. Does it make it harder to get a hold of people? Does it make it harder to get a showing, or to, if you're on the buyer's side, to get into a house? You know, what changes?
Well, it all comes down to the commitment and the communication with the agents, right? So when someone says they're willing to put their house on the market, make very clear available times that they're willing to show the home. And that way it sets up expectations for everybody, understanding that there are going to be, of course, certain days that they have to block off. Your average person's probably not shopping on Thanksgiving,
right.
But there are a lot of people in town that weekend. So having your house show ready for people who are visiting and who want to move to the area is really important. And having clear communication with your agent up front and understanding that, you can prepare yourself in advance.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about communication. I think it's really important. Expectation setting has to probably be part of what's happening in a shifting market. What kind of conversations do you have with clients? What happens as you're trying to set the stage for them so they understand on either side of things where things are at right now and what maybe to expect as they're getting into either the buying or selling process?
So on the selling side, it definitely means preparing them for what the season is to come. So there's a lot more work when it comes to selling this time of year. You want your house to show in the best light, and quite frankly, when the leaves are down and your front yard isn't as in bloom like it is in the spring, there's a lot more work that goes into it because you want to show it in the best light as possible.
I know that, you know, whenever I've been a part of any of these things, it is a stressful process to go through, but you guys do such a great job of trying to, you know, calm the nerves of people, have those conversations. What is it that Parker Group does that stands out, you know, in this field?
Well, we definitely take as much of that stress away as possible. So we don't just walk into your house and say, okay, tomorrow we're going to list it. We give them ample time. We give them a checklist. We tell them exactly what we think should be done to get their house ready. And I think having that preparedness ahead of time, getting even like little things like maybe there's a loose floorboard on the deck. You know, it's the little things like that that we pay attention to, and we say, you should probably get this fixed before we list. And we have people that can help take care of that for you.
How many times do you see a place where fixing something little like that can actually make such a big difference? Because it doesn't take much to scare somebody off. Yep. You know, they don't want to think about having to fix 50 things when they buy a new place to live.
That's one of the biggest things that we touch on is home inspections.
Yep.
We try to get the home inspection done before we list it and have as many of the items on there that the seller can fixed before it gets put out for the whole world to see.
Yeah,
You also want to make sure that if you were going through the home, look at it as a buyer would. So if you see a loose floorboard, or perhaps your HVAC ducts look a little bit dusty, that signals that maybe the home wasn't maintained in the way that you would maintain it as a buyer, and we don't want buyers to have those questions. And we search for transparency. So everything that the seller has done to the house, HVAC cleanouts, perhaps the maintenance that they've done to close up a pool for the year, we would, in this season, get the pool inspection done now, so that way they can sell it without any hesitation throughout the winter time, because a pool inspection really can't be done when it's closed.
That is a great point. I had never even considered that, but a really good reason, again, to kind of be ahead of the game. We're sort of in the last part of the year before, eventually we're going to have snow showing up or bad weather and all that stuff. It's going to make things a little more difficult. Is there anything else, ladies, that you wanted to add about what's going on over at Parker Group?
Well, what I can just touch on is Jamie is a great contact if you are somebody that doesn't know exactly what you need to do to your home to get it show ready or to get it ready for a home inspection. We can start in advance by making sure that her and her husband, who is a fantastic general contractor, does the work in my own house, and comes through and make sure that everything is repaired and in its best condition.
I think that's a great recommendation there. I like the tidbit that he does the work on her house too, so you can trust it. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, if you're at home, if you're looking for a home, or if you're looking to sell, the Parker Group has a lot of ways that they can not only help you out, but they can make that process just a little bit easier. And that's a real peace of mind. So again, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We are going to take a break. We have more Coast Life coming up after this.